Yo, and we back with another video. This time it's about the manosphere. So I watched this documentary and it was intriguing because it gave me insight to many of these so-called influencers in the manosphere. Especially Myron Gaines. Myron is a person that he's not dumb. He's a very smart individual. I've watched these streams. But one thing is when he's never come across someone like louis-theorux. Because Myron claims like, I'm very smart. You can't do live streams. You can't think of it. You can't think on your feet. And that's true. You know, you have to be very intelligent, very smart, be able to think on your feet to do live streams. Because you will get embarrassed if you're sitting down there and somebody has an argument and you can't argue back. But this is what happens. You know, Myron was in a predicament when louis-theorux sneaked in there. I said louis-theorux is very, very, very sneaky, and he managed to put Myron in a bit of a place. I don't know if the whole relationship between him and his now ex was anything to do with the documentary, but they seem to have split up. But it's weird how she was with him for 2 years. 2 years. And this documentary happened to take place, and then 6 months later they have split. So you gotta look into that. It's like, was it the documentary or was it something else? So basically, louis-theorux, he followed Myron around for a while, but when he was in the After Hours Fresh and Fit podcast, he was starting to sneak around like a little snake, ask a couple of questions, and his talent booker with called Icy, the woman that books the talent, she started to open up a bit too much to louis-theorux, to a point where she started opening her mouth, and you could see when she started to, I don't know what happened, but somehow she messaged Myron, and Myron was like, you don't say nothing, don't open your mouth, biatch, stop it, don't say a word, stop talking to him. You can see that that's what happened, really. You can see what's going on, because you see him on his phone, and you can see she got looked up and like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. It's hilarious. Said too much. Oh dear. Because she started talking about how they have women and they fight and they get drunk. So it looks like from, how can I put it, like she didn't really mean to say these things, but it looks like they behind the scenes fill these women with alcohol and then put them on the show, and that's how they get them to open up and talk and go crazy. That's what I'm thinking. But Fresh and Fit on YouTube, which is the main place where you want to be on YouTube, they've been demonetized for a while, so they can upload their podcast. They just can't make any money from it, and that's saying something about the direction of their podcast and what YouTube thinks of their podcast, because it's easy to get views, it's easy to game the algorithm when you just got a bunch of hot women in the thumbnail. It's that easy. Just put a bunch of hot women in the thumbnail. No, I won't say kids, but teenage boys will click on it, and they start getting this infatuated with this manosphere. How you can have multiple wives. The stories of the OnlyFans models, because they're mostly OnlyFans models. They call them influencers, but they are pretty much OnlyFans models. They don't influence anyone. They haven't influenced me to do anything. So in the Netflix documentary, Amru was quizzed over his relationship with Angie, his now ex-girlfriend, who was revealed had split with from the manosphere influence 6 months ago. Taken to his own social media platforms, Amru addressed the split, saying Angie was keen to have a family, something he was not ready to do. So you're sitting down with this woman for 2 years, and all of a sudden this documentary happens, and then she's like, I want a family. Okay. he told fans that what she wants, and she's been waiting around for a minute. So 2 years in a minute, man. 2 years is not. I mean, 2 years isn't that long. I mean, not really that long. I've seen people with in a relationship for 5 years and they haven't had a family yet. So who the F am I to tell her, nah, keep waiting, or deny her that? During the documentary clips, Amru discussed Amru. I mean, I can see why he calls himself Myron. I mean, I always thought Myron Gaines was a bit of a strange name, but I guess that's what he goes by on the internet. Amru discussing his one-way monogamous relationship saw him explain of his relationship with Angie. I do what the F I want to do. She's loyal to me. It's monogamous on her end and open in my end. He packs my effing condoms when I travel. That's how real it is. I don't think she likes that, man. I mean, it's weird how these guys are on the internet saying this, but in reality, I don't think the women actually believe in what these guys are saying, because who knows? It's very odd that when he's on the podcast, he's a person, but she says, oh, when he's not on the podcast, he's a different person. I'm like, this is all for show. Louis asks him, do you have a rotation of other women? In which Amru explained, I wouldn't say a rotation right now. I do want to get multiple wives. But right now I'm just focused on building things up. This year especially. Multiple wives? Really? Louis questioned again, before Angie was spotted walking about the apartment, and the documentarian asked her to join the conversation. This is where things get messy. What attracted you to Myron? Louis asked her, and she answered, I say to my friends and to people who always question our relationship that Myron is somebody in front of the cameras, but behind them he is somebody else with me. I love him very much. I love him as long as we are together. Louis explained that he and Amru had been discussing relationships between men and women before she joined them, including one-way monogamy, and him expressing wanting multiple wives. Oh man. Angie continued, the woman that he sleeps with, he is just going to be with for a night or so, but there is a reason I stayed so long with him. I think this is odd. I think this is very odd. Quizzing Angie on how she feels about Ambrose wanting to expand their relationship, she shifted back and forth on her feet as it was revealed they had spoken about him having multiple wives in the future. Stepping in, Ambrose said she understands that, but Angie added, I don't know, I mean, he has said that in the past, I think. I see what it happens. I don't know how it will work. We haven't really discussed this in great detail. I don't know how that will work. I'll see when it happens. Okay. I don't think they talked about it too much because they seem a bit off and on about it. Like she didn't want to embarrass him. That thing is said that Angie went to add before Amber cut her off, speaking over her. But right now, it's not going to be anytime soon. I'm just focused on working. Okay. And we got his Tiki-Toki. The guy who thinks OnlyFans girls are disgusting, but wants to profit from them. Very odd. You know what I don't know? No, I noticed about here is Sneeko. He's not really mentioned here. Let's see. No. Myron's more of the draw, and his TikTok. I think the most controversial people. Because Sneeko was controversial at the time, but right now he's kind of calmed down. he was banned on most platforms, and I have to give him credit where credit is due. Once you're banned on most platforms, it's hard to maintain some income and a living. But he managed to remain. Oh, here's Nico. He managed to remain some sort of relevance on the internet. Like, he still was talked about. He was still featured in people's videos. I mean, I remember he was hanging around with Kanye West, a bit of a weird guy. I mean, I'll be honest with Nico. He's a bit of a drifter. Kind of goes with the wind blows. And sometimes I wonder, does he know what he's doing, or he just follows the wind? That's what I think about Sneeko. I know it sounds bad, but one minute he's hanging around with Mr. Beast, then the Tate brothers, and then Kanye West. It's like he doesn't really, for me, it just seems like he doesn't really have any real direction, but when he goes in a certain direction, it always works out for him. So good luck. I mean, like, he's unbanned from YouTube, and in this documentary he didn't come across too crazy. Luckily he didn't invite his girlfriend on the stream, well, not on stream, but on in the documentary. He didn't look like a hypocrite like his tiki-taki. He kind of looked embarrassing, especially the fact that everything was going on around him at the time to do with the crash and him on the run. So at the end of that, he kind of made himself look embarrassing. And Myron, I don't know if the documentary had anything to do with his relationship with his ex splitting up, but it kind of made him look a bit like, what's going on in this relationship? You want multiple wives, but then you talked about it, but then you're not sure about it. Because when you're being quizzed and your girlfriend's being quizzed, you all seem a bit, I don't know, I don't understand, I don't get, maybe yes, whatever makes him happy. So he's not really as in control as he was making out to be. And so, I don't know if it's the documentary that made her leave, or maybe she just wanted a family. But after 2 years of being with Myron Gaines, why not make it 3 years? Why make it 4 years? Just if he said he wants to have a family later on, why not just wait it out? But she's suddenly now like, oh, I want a family now. After 2 years, 2 years is not a long time to be with somebody. But whatever, that's just my views. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'm out.